growth. The Minister of Youth Development, Comrade Ayodele Olawande, has reaffirmed the federal government's commitment to practical and innovative solutions that will deliver real impact in the lives of young Nigerians. He stated this in Abuja at the signing of Memorandum of Understanding with the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC), led by its Director General, Dr. Emomotimi Agama, in Abuja. Comrade Olawande emphasized that lasting legacies were built through action and collaboration, not bureaucracy, and strengthened the Youth Academy was a central pillar of this vision to provide accessible financial education and practical skills to young people across the country. The Director General of the Security and Exchange Commission (SEC), Dr. Agama, harped on the need to empower the youth through strategic partnerships and financial innovation. Dr. Agama commended the minister for his youthful and action-oriented leadership, noting his ability to break bureaucratic barriers and implement impactful solutions. The North Central Renaissance Movement, NCRM, has urged the nation's major political parties to consider zoning of their 2027 presidential ticket to the North Central Zone. The chairman of the movement, Professor Ketso Ngarbu, made the call at a news conference in Abuja. He said the contributions of the North Central geopolitical zone to the country's economic development and unity necessitated the agitation. The contributions, according to him, included hydropower generation through numerous dams, natural resources, as well as being the center of national cohesion and consistently maintaining its loyalty to the Nigerian project. Professor Ngarbu, however, stated that the call was particularly to the People's Democratic Party (PDP), African Democratic Congress (ADC), and the Social Democratic Party (SDP). This, he said, was especially because President Bola Tinubu had the right of first refusal in the All Progressives Congress (APC) as the ruling party.
Radio Nigeria, uplifting the people and uniting the nation.
Get ready for the 3rd IRC Annual Scientific Symposium happening on the 8th and 9th September 2025 at the IHVN campus, Abuja. This year's theme is Combating Viral Threats Through Public Health Response and Research. The event brings together researchers, scientists, policymakers, and healthcare providers to explore innovative solutions to global health challenges. Register now to participate, whether you're a student, a virtual participant, or joining in person. There is a package for you. Visit ihvnnigeria.org or www.ihvn-irce.org to secure your spot today. IRCE Symposium 2025, Advancing Research, Improving Outcomes.
Radio Nigeria, uplifting the people and uniting the nation.
Thanks for staying with us. The wife of the president and national chairman of the Renewed Hope Initiative, RHI, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, has inaugurated the Lagos State government's new industrial leather hub in Matori, Mushin. Senator Oluremi Tinubu described the initiative as a milestone project to strengthen small and medium enterprises, promote local manufacturing, and position Lagos as Africa's foremost leather hub. Governor Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State maintained that the hub will generate 10,000 direct and indirect jobs, with 70% reserved for women and youth, while over 15,000 artisans will benefit from specialized training and startup support. He assured Lagosians that the state will expand access to funds, strengthen infrastructure, and deepen the leather ecosystem to enhance productivity. The event reached its peak when Governor Sanwo-Olu announced the renaming of the facility as the Senator Oluremi Tinubu Industrial Leather Hub, a gesture that was met with loud applause from guests. The program was attended by the wife of the Vice President, Haja Nana Shetima, wife of the Lagos State Governor, Dr. Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu, Deputy Governor, Dr. Obafemi Hamzat, and his wife, Oluremi, lawmakers, state officials, and other dignitaries. A former Deputy Governor of Kano State, Malam Nasiru Yusuf Gawuna, says collaboration and financial inclusion remain critical drivers of sustainable development in the country. Malam Gawuna stated this in Abuja at the National Roundtable on the Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program, JEEP 3.0. Mr. Kawuna, who underscored the importance of collaboration and deepening financial inclusion at the grassroots, explained that the roundtable, which reviewed the achievements of GEEP 1.0 and 2.0, had boosted the nation's economy. The National Program Manager, Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program, Mr. Hamza Baba, described the RH GEEP 3.0 as one of the flagship initiatives of the National Social Investment Program Agency. Mr. Baba explained that the scheme remained committed to support petty traders, farmers, artisans, and small business owners with interest-free credit. Farmers in Kwara State have appealed to government at all levels to provide the conducive environment for irrigation farming to enable them overcome the challenges of climate change and ensure food security. When Radio Nigeria correspondents visited some farm settlements in Ilori and environs, many of the farmers were in dilemma over lack of rainfall in their areas. Ali Rabiu has details.
Speaking on the negative impact of the dry spell being experienced by farmers in some parts of the state, the chairman, All Farmers Association of Nigeria, Kwara State Chapter, Umar Mahmoud Aboki, said the situation is pathetic. Mahmoud Aboki explained that if government can create the enabling environment for farmers to have irrigation facilities to engage in all year-round farming, the challenges will be minimal.
They should provide the seeds that are drought resistant. They should make it locality by locality, down to the grassroots. It should be at the fingertips of the farmers. Chemicals, fertilizers, they should make it to social service.
The chairman said government should also employ and train more extension agents to educate farmers on the modern method of farming in order to reduce overdependence on rain-fed farming practice. He noted that most farmers have no skills of how to closely monitor climate predictions and apply same in their practice to enable them have good yield. In their remarks, the President, Agricultural and Mining Resource Alhaji Magaji Suleiman and Kwara State Coordinator, Rice Farmers Association of Nigeria, Kwara State Chapter, Malam Muhammad Salihu, urged government to make farm inputs available to farmers on time to enable them plant early.
We are appealing to the government to look into these irrigation systems. They should invest on it.
When you look at the lower river Niger, they have about 23 sites in Kwara that they say irrigation water it is not effective.
They also call on government to monitor those saddled with the responsibility of supplying the farm inputs to guide against the distribution of fake and ineffective farm inputs. In Ilori, Ali Rabi, Radio Nigeria.
Over 39,000 personal voter cards remain uncollected across the 8 local government areas of Bayelsa State. The Independent National Electoral Commission INEC Resident Electoral Commissioner for the state, Malam Isa Ehimahe, stated this at a stakeholders meeting in Yenagoa, the state capital. Alam Modatoye brings us details.
Malam Isa Himiake said at the moment INEC is heading to a critical phase of continuous voter registration exercise as part of build-up for the 2027 general election in the country. The INEC resident electoral commissioner who appealed to stakeholders to sensitize the people, especially those who have just attained the age of 18, to register. However, regretted that over 39,000 permanent voters cards have yet to be collected in the state from previous exercises.
This troubling situation calls for urgent action. Therefore, appeal to all stakeholders to join hands with INEC in sensitizing our people. Registration is incomplete until the PVC is collected. Let us work together to ensure that no citizen is left behind.
Chairman of the Bayelsa State Traditional Rulers Council, King Bubrai Dakolo, represented by the paramount ruler of Peretorubene, Chief Timi Odikeme, urged INEC to do more consultations with the royal fathers to improve the number of registration and collection of PVCs.
A lot of these uncollected voters cards wouldn't have been up to this number. The job is not only for INEC, it's for all citizens of Nigeria.
The State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Francis Udu, represented by the Assistant Commissioner of Police in charge of operations, Mr. Odumo Williams, expressed the readiness of the security agencies to ensure a smooth voter registration process.
DPOs are mandated to liaise with the EOs and with 8 local governments to ensure adequate security are provided at those points.
While the State Director of the National Orientation Agency, Mrs. Grace Ebiapo, reiterated the readiness of the NOA to support the process, the State Chairman of the Inter-Party Advisory Council, Mr. Simeon Imomotimi, urged INEC to do more to ensure the registration of people in rural and coastal communities.
We will do our best to add value. When it comes to registration of voters, the remote areas, they don't go to that places. And communities are not too happy. Please, this time around, go down to the creeks.
and register our people.
The state chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Reverend Father Joseph Opelema, and his counterpart from the Council for Islamic Affairs, Alhaji Yakubu Otobo, and other stakeholders at the forum emphasized the need for collaborative efforts by all key actors to ensure the success of the electoral process. The meeting was attended by chairmen and secretaries of the registered political parties and members of civil society organizations. In Yenegua, Alambo, Natoyin, Radio Nigeria.
Radio Nigeria, uplifting the people and uniting the nation.
And now for the rest of the news. Renal failure patients at the Jos University Teaching Hospital's dialysis center have lauded the federal government for subsidizing dialysis sessions for them. They expressed their appreciation while speaking with Radio Nigeria in Jos, the Plateau State capital. For details, over now to our correspondent, Grace Damalak.
President Bola Tinubu recently subsidized the cost of kidney dialysis in federal government-owned hospitals from 50,000 to 12,000 per session. The initiative, which commences in 10 federal medical centers and teaching hospitals across the country, aims to provide relief to thousands of Nigerians battling kidney-related diseases. Some of the patients, Mr. Aaron Mark and Benedine Asuko, said the gesture by the federal government has gone a long way in alleviating their plight and expressed hope it will be sustained.
We appreciate for the effort of the government to support us for the dialysis.
The government is trying for us.
The head of nephrology department, Youth, Professor Oche Abaji, confirmed that the hospital has commenced implementation of the president's directive and acknowledged receiving additional dialysis machines and other equipment from the federal government.
They have donated the dialyzer, which is the artificial kidney. They have also donated the acid concentrate, which we use along with the bicarbonate. They have donated blood tubings. They have also donated the central venous line. Those cost significantly, and that's why the cost has been able to come down.
The Chief Medical Director, Youth, Dr. Pukop Bupwada, while commending the government, said Youth, being a major nephrology training center, has the capacity in terms of trained personnel and facility and is fully prepared for the task ahead.
Just as a major training ground, and not even that we have the capacity in terms of human resource and the facility already.
The head of STARS, Youth, Edwina Puppet, noted that due to the rise in patients following the directive, consumption of dialysis consumables has increased significantly and urged government to ensure steady supply. In Jos, Grace Damulak, Radio Nigeria.
Still on health, the Public Health Department of the Federal Capital Territory Administration (FCTA), in collaboration with the Christopher Blinden Mission and Health and Development Support Program (HANDS), have offered free hydrocell surgery to 50 residents of Abaje and Kwali area councils of the FCT. The event, which took place at the Kuba General Hospital, was part of the efforts by the non-governmental organization and the federal government to alleviate the plight of the patients and tackle neglected tropical diseases in the FCT. The Director Public Health FCTA, Dr. Dan Gatsama, represented by the Director Disease Control, Dr. Ngozi ABCK, explained that the FCTA carried out an active case search to identify the beneficiaries and to create awareness of some of these diseases and how to access treatment.
The FCT Public Health has been working tirelessly to make sure that the people are sensitized and they know all the helps they can get and how to go about to improve their health. And in doing this, we have collaborators. So during the active case search, 65 cases of hydrocell were confirmed and donors offered to pay for the surgery of 50 of them.
Some of the beneficiaries who narrated their ordeal, including the mother of a 3-year-old, Isa Muhammad, said little Isa was born with the condition, unlike others who acquired hydrocell at an older age.
I just born out with her. Before, the thing not they did anything, but now the thing they pain us mostly. My friend was behind tell us, they may come here, they do program for the annual, they do promoter.
Yes, said they did this camp program last year, so that's why I said if they want to do the program this year, I better make them take me along. I thank them because no money to do it.
The representatives of the donor and implementing partners, Christopher Blinden Mission, Ms. Mariam Manok, and Health and Development Support Program HANDS, Mr. Achai Ija, explained that the condition destroys one's self-esteem and advised persons with hydrocele to ignore the stigma and seek help.
In most of our communities, people that have this particular manifestation are being tagged, or there's stigma around this. So a lot of people are in the hiding, and this is as a result of lack of knowledge.
It consists of 50 beneficiaries. We are hoping that the second batch will come for 80 beneficiaries. We should also refer people who are suffering from this condition to come and be a part of it.
Hydrocele is a condition that causes swelling in the scrotum, the sac that holds the testicles, which happens when fluid builds up around one or both testicles. Hydrocele is common in newborns, but can also affect older children and adults after injury or illness. The Deputy Chief of Mission, International Organization for Migration, IOM, Nigeria, Ms. Pace Paola, says movement of people outside the laws and regulations governing the entry into other countries puts a lot of migrants at risk. She made the statement on Radio Link, a Radio Nigeria audience participatory program with the topic addressing irregular migration in the country. Ms. Paola said contrary to allegations that many Africans migrate illegally, majority of people, including Nigerians, migrate legally.
After 20 years working on migration all over the world, 15 in Africa, our statistics are very clear. So irregular movement represent between 10 to 15%. And we need to be conscious of that. And because also we need to pass the right message to the public today, that it's possible to migrate, also from Nigeria, even if Schengen visa denial is the highest here. But there are reasons for it. Let's talk about it.
Another guest on the program, the country director, Symbols of Hope Project, Nigeria, Reverend Emmanuel Gabriel, attributed irregular migration to high level of ignorance in some cases, as most migrants did not consider the value and respect their countries commanded.
We will not be ignorant of the fact that there is insecurity in the land, unemployment, lack of proper infrastructure. These factors are there. But I would want to mention the conspiracy of silence for those who are aware of these things. I have seen Nigerians in Switzerland, in other parts of the world, begging, saying, we want to come back home. It's better to be home. If I put the same quantum of energy I am putting here to work, if I put the same in Nigeria, I will get a better life.
Reverend Emmanuel Gabriel cited an example during one of his advocacy programs in a university that some female students had already been recruited to work in Europe even before graduation, describing the development as disturbing. And next is Sports Update.
Nigeria's Toby Musan and Favour Ofli have confirmed their places in the prestigious season finale at the World Class A meeting in Zurich next weekend. Ofli, who only joined the circuit from the 9th stop of the 15-leg series, did just enough to qualify for the women's 200-meter final, finishing 8th overall with 13 points. The 21-year-old is now chasing history as she looks to become only the second Nigerian after Amusan to win a Diamond League trophy. For Amusan, qualification was never in doubt. The reigning 100-meter hurdles queen could only finish in Lausanne with a time of 12.82 seconds, but the world record holder in the event still accumulated 27 points to place second in the overall standings behind Grace Stark of the USA, who leads with 35 points. The one action of the 2025-2026 Nigeria Premier Football League will continue tomorrow across designated match venues across the country. Kwara United will welcome Ikorodu City at the Kwara Sports Complex. Aliores will engage Canopilas in Omaya. Victories will welcome Nebels Plateau United of Jos in Bauchi. Other matches also for tomorrow, we see Enugu Rangers taking on new entrants Con Califort and the Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium, Enugu. Academy Warriors will in Meduguri trade tackles with Bendel Insurance of Benin. Newcomers, Barrow FC will entertain Enyimba FC of Oba in Kano. Washington Stars will play host to Bayelsa United at the Lake and Salami Sports Complex in Ibadan. A match to be broadcast live on the network service of Radio Nigeria. The encounter between Niger Tornadoes and Nasarawa United will play on Wednesday in Lorraine after the NPFL ruled that the Baku Katangara Stadium was not good enough. The two matches in the English Premier Football League resumed today, with Manchester City losing 2-0 to visiting Tottenham Hotspur in the early kickoff at the Etihad Stadium. Brennan Johnson and Joan Maria Fillingham got the goals in the first half. Three other matches are currently ongoing, with Brentford up against Aston Villa at Tech Stadium. Bournemouth are entertaining Wolves at the Vitality Stadium, while Burnley Lacans with fellow promoted side Sunderland. Arsenal will take on Leeds United at the Emirates Stadium in the last game of the day. And that's sports update. I am Ernest Obi.
Thank you, Ernest. That takes us to the commentary, which is on the urgent need for transition to renewable, cleaner energy in Africa. It is written by Sandra Chukwugeku of our Current Affairs Unit.
Renewable cleaner energy refers to power generated from natural resources that are replenished consistently, such as the sun, wind, water, and the earth's heat. Unlike fossil fuels that pollute the environment and deplete over time, renewable energy is sustainable, safer for public health, and vital for addressing the global climate crisis. In Africa, the case for cleaner energy is urgent. More than 600 million Africans still live without access to electricity, while millions more rely on firewood, kerosene, diesel, and generators that damage the environment and pose health risks. At the same time, the continent is already facing the harsh realities of climate change. Droughts in the Horn of Africa, floods in West Africa, and heat waves in South Africa, which threaten lives, livelihoods, and food security. Across the continent, there are success stories. Morocco's Noor Solar Complex, the largest in the world, is powering millions of homes, while Kenya continues to lead in geothermal energy production. Yet, these examples are not widespread enough to meet Africa's enormous energy needs. Nigeria, Africa's most populous country, has pledged to achieve net zero emissions by 2060 under its energy transition plan. To drive this vision, the government is rolling out initiatives such as the Solar Power Niger project, which targets 5 million solar connections for off-grid communities, and the expansion of mini-grid projects through the Rural Electrification Agency, bringing power to underserved regions. Nigeria is also investing in gas-to-power projects as a transition from fuel, while promoting clean cooking initiatives to reduce deforestation and indoor pollution. But the pace of change remains slow. Funding gaps, weak infrastructure, and policy inconsistency threaten to derail progress. Unless governments show stronger political will and international partners fulfill their financing commitments, Africa may miss the opportunity of achieving a sustainable energy future. What is at stake is more than just electricity. It is Africa's economic growth, public health, and environmental stability. Renewable energy offers cheaper long-term power, reduces reliance on imported fuels, and has the potential to create millions of jobs for Africa's youthful population. To succeed, governments must strengthen regulatory frameworks, attract private investment, and ensure that rural communities, often the most neglected, are placed at the center of energy planning. International partners, too, must go beyond pledges and deliver real financing that matches Africa's ambition. An African proverb reminds us, "Do not call the forest that shelters you a jungle." Protecting our environment through cleaner energy is not optional. It is essential for survival. The time to act is now.
That commentary on the urgent need for transition to renewable, cleaner energy in Africa was written by Sandra Chukwugeku and read by Jeremiah Jime. For weather update, cloudy skies with prospects of intervals of light rains currently being experienced in Abuja, Yola, Birnin Kebbi, Benin, Ekiti, and Abakaliki, with temperatures between 20 and 26 degrees are present. To end the news, here is a recap of our main points. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, and several upstream gas suppliers have signed long-term gas supply agreements with the Nigeria Liquefied Natural Gas Limited, NLNG, for the delivery of 1.29 billion standard cubic feet per day of feed gas. The wife of the president and national chairman of the Renewed Hope Initiative, RHI, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, has inaugurated the Lagos state government's new industrial leather hub in Matori, Moshi. Farmers in Kwara State have appealed to government at all levels to provide a conducive environment for irrigation farming to enable them overcome the challenges of climate change and ensure food security. We also told you that renal failure patients at the Jos University Teaching Hospital Dialysis Center have lauded the federal government for subsidizing dialysis sessions. That's the news, edited by Abubakar Pesto and the production team. I am Olayemi Dania. Thanks for listening. Still on the network service of
Radio Nigeria, Amuludun FM. Nigeria, Amuludun FM. 99.1 ní Moniya Ibadan láwa o. Radio Nigeria, Amuludun FM. Agbẹ́ta ló dànù dúdú lágbẹ́dẹ́ òwe. Radio Nigeria, Amuludun FM. Àwọn ètò alárinrin tó ń kọ́ni lọ́gbọ́n. Radio Nigeria, Amuludun FM. Àwọn ìròyìn àsìkò káàkiri àgbáyé. Radio Nigeria, Amuludun FM. Kàgbé àṣà àti ìṣe wa lárugẹ o. Radio Nigeria, Amuludun FM. Iwájú lọ̀pá ẹ̀bìtì a máa ré sí òwe. Radio Nigeria, Amuludun FM. Iwájú la ó máa lọ, a ò ní rẹ̀yìn rárá. Radio Nigeria, Amuludun FM. Ẹ wá polówó ọjà kájé ó wọgbá. Radio Nigeria, Amuludun FM. Amuludun FM. Amuludun FM. Amuludun FM 99.1 ní Moniya Ibadan. Ẹ máa gbádùn ẹ̀.
akínyẹ̀bí ẹ̀ka bọ̀ padà láti olúléeṣẹ́ wa ní ìlú Àbújá níbi tí a ti lọ mú ìròyìn àpapọ̀ ilé wa wá sí etí gbọ̀yìn. a sì kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ wa tó lé pé ẹ ti ń gbádùn iléeṣẹ́ wa láti àárọ̀ tí ilẹ̀ ti mọ́. àdúrà wa náà ni pé àjọṣepọ̀ wa kò ní bàjẹ́ bí ògo ti jẹ́ tọ́lọ́run. à ń tẹ̀síwájú pẹ̀lú àwọn ètò wa lọ́lọ́kan ọjọ́ kan.
ẹni tó wà láyé ṣùgbọ́n tí ò lálàáfíà tó péye ó ń pè fún ìfọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ gbogbo èèyàn ká gbárùkù tí kó lè bá àráyé gbé kó ráyé ṣe. ìdí ni pé oore tó gbìyànjú ní ká gbẹ̀mí ẹni là. ìbáṣepọ̀ bá a ṣe ń péjú sìnkú là ń péjọ ṣètọ́jú aláìsàn. yorùbá ló ti kú ó ṣeé ṣe kó lè ti ìrẹ̀wàlẹ̀ àṣà. ẹ̀yẹ̀ lè ju àánú tọ́lá fi búrùjú dálọ́lá lọ́gbẹ́lọ́gbẹ́ lọ́gbàlọ́gbà olóṣèlú tó nífẹ̀ẹ́ ọmọnìyàn dénú àti gbogbo ọmọ nàìjíríà lápapọ̀. ẹ dákun ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ má káwọn gbéra wò wá ràn lórí àìlera Gabriel Ọ̀nàfúrúmẹ̀ òṣìṣẹ́ fẹ̀yìntì táwọn onímọ̀ ìṣègùn òyìnbó sọ nínú ìwádìí wọn wípé ó ní àìsàn jẹjẹrẹ ilé ìtọ̀.
orúkọ mi ni Gabriel Ọ̀nàfúrúmẹ̀ mo jẹ́ ọmọ nàìjíríà. àìsàn kan wá rọ́lù mi tí mo dẹ̀ ń bá yí láti ìgbà yẹn títí di àsìkò yìí tó tún lé sí lójoojúmọ́. wọ́n diagnose ẹ̀ pé prostate cancer. gbogbo ohun ìní ni mo ti fi ń ṣe ìtọ́jú ara láti ìgbà yẹn títí di àsìkò yìí. agbára ti wá pín báyìí. orúkọ ìbò yẹn Lutetium 177 PSMA therapy nìkan tí wọ́n fẹ́ fi ṣe ìtọ́jú mi nìyẹn. kò sí agbára láti ṣe. ìkọ̀ọ̀kan jẹ́ 5 million naira. mo fi wá jáde wá kí pé gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọmọ nàìjíríà kí ẹ jọ̀ọ́ kí ẹ wá ràn mí lọ́wọ́.
ọba òkè òní ṣe lálàdúrà kan tí ń gbélé ìwòsàn fojoojúmọ́ gbàdúrà fún ìlera. ẹ̀bẹ̀ là ń bẹ̀ yín ẹ jẹ́ ká pawọ́pọ̀ bí ìgbà ìkẹsẹ̀ ìfọwọ́ mọ́lẹ́ láti du ẹ̀mí Gabriel Ọ̀nàfúrúmẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ ìsàn jẹjẹrẹ ilé ìtọ̀ kó lè bọ́ sípò àlàáfíà. láti bá wa dá sí ẹ̀sán owó sí àpò àṣùwọ̀n yìí Zenith Bank 2425800340 lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí 2425800340. orúkọ tí ìgbé wa ni Gabriel Ọ̀nàfúrúmẹ̀. bí ẹ ṣe máa fowó sínú àpò àṣùwọ̀n yìí Zenith Bank 0340. orúkọ tí ò gbé wá ni Gabriel Ọ̀nàfúrúmẹ̀. ní agbára Olódùà ẹ ò ní fàìsàn lùgbà tẹ̀bítẹ̀bí tààràtàrà tọmọtọmọ ẹ ṣé púpọ̀.
wákàtí ìṣẹ́gun ní ètò tí ó máa dé sí etí gbọ́ yín ní iléeṣẹ́ rédíò nàìjíríà Amuludun FM Moniya Ibadan níbi tí a ó ti máa gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ ọlọ́run tó yí ìkorokò láti ẹnu kò àti ìríjú rẹ̀ olùṣọ́ àgùntàn Clement Olú Ọlájìmí kò ṣeé má gbọ́ fún gbogbo èèyàn ní ètò yìí nítorí pé láti pàṣẹ ètò náà ẹ ó máa di alábùkún fún lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ lórúkọ Jésù ẹ máa darapọ̀ mọ́ wa ní gbogbo ọjọ́ sátidé ọ̀sọ̀ọ̀sẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ láago 6 bọ̀ sí aago 7 àṣálẹ́ 6:30 to 7 p.m. every Saturday ìjọ Shining Light World Outreach tó wà ní number 2 Shining Light Street College Christians Ibadan ló ṣe onígbọ̀wọ́ ẹ̀ ẹ̀yin lè darapọ̀ mọ́ wa ní sátidé ọ̀sẹ̀ yìí 6:30 to 7 p.m. àánú ọlọ́run àti orí ọ̀fẹ́ rẹ̀ kó darapọ̀ mọ́ yín bẹ́ẹ̀ tí ń gbọ́ lórúkọ Jésù.
àánú olúwa lẹ̀dá nílò nílé ayé láti lè jẹ́ kí a ṣe àṣeyọrí nínú gbogbo. Bíbélì wípé àánú ṣògo lórí ìdájọ́ látàrí èyí lolúwa fi ṣàgbékalẹ̀ ètò pàtàkì yìí àkókò àánú èyí tá ó máa gbọ́ níkànnì yìí lọ́sọ̀ọ̀sẹ̀. níbi ètò olúwa yóò ti máa lo wòlíì àti ajínrere Isaac Adépọ̀jù bàbá bẹ́tẹ̀ láti inú ìjọ Bethel Church of Christ Land of Mercy of Olúkìtìbí Àbáodò Mọ́níyà Ìbàdàn. ètò yìí yóò máa dé ti gbọ́rin dédé aago ọjọ́ ajé Monday lọ́sọ̀ọ̀sẹ̀. atọ́kùn ètò ní Adéọ̀sùn jẹ́nfà ọ̀ka JP fún ẹ̀bẹ̀ àdúrà ẹ pè ìránṣẹ́ ọlọ́run alàyè sórí ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ yìí 08068242939 tàbí 08143900097. ìjẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ti máa tẹ́tí gbọ́ ètò yìí lákòókò náà àánú ọlọ́run kò ní kò láyé wa àmín ẹ kú ojú lọ́nà o.
ẹ̀dá mi máa jẹ́ ìyọ̀dá ẹni máa ń sọ̀rọ̀ àríre náà.
torí pé ojúlọ́rọ̀ tó ṣàfọ́ láyé ń bí.
a kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin ẹ̀wà tí ẹ̀ ń gbọ́ wa nílé lókòlódò lẹ́yìn odi ní gbogbo ibi tí afẹ́fẹ́ ìròyìn bá fẹ́ dé pàápàá jùlọ gbogbo ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ iléeṣẹ́ rédíò nàìjíríà Amuludun FM 99.1. àníkàfẹ́ tó yín létí ní o pàápàá jùlọ ẹ̀yin aráàlú pé arábìnrin kan tí orúkọ rẹ̀ ń jẹ́ Ganiyat Kazeem ọmọ bíbí ìlú Ìlérò ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ òun náà ni ó wà níwájú iléeṣẹ́ wa rédíò Amuludun FM láti ọjọ́ ìṣẹ́gun tí í ṣe ọjọ́ 19 oṣù kẹjọ tí a wà yìí. a fi ọ̀rọ̀ wá arábìnrin yìí lẹ́nu wo ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́nu arábìnrin yìí lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ ẹ bá mi dárúkọ yín.
Ganiyat Kazeem lórúkọ mi o.
níbo gangan ni ẹ ti wá láti wá já yín sílẹ̀ nbí.
láti Ìlérò ni mo ti wá síbí o.
ṣé lóru gangan lẹ ti wá tí wọ́n ti já yín sílẹ̀ nbí àwọn obìnrin á wá já yín lẹ́nbí àbẹ́yẹn lè wá fúnra yín.
mo wọ mọ́tò fúnra mi ni mo wọ mọ́tò onímọ̀ ìlọsókò.
ẹ wọ mọ́tò láti Ìlérò pẹ̀lú.